How are you?
We both went to Brown and we both love fashion.
Oh, she went to Brown too.
Oh, hi. Hi.
So we have the shape of the gown for you to try on. This is the exact shape.
Yes. Oh, well, you have to certainly. I don't like it long. I like it.
Yeah, no, it's got to be.
And I don't like that on you at all. That dress. I like the shape, but I know the shape is going to be different. Hold this up to you. Is that the right size for this?
No, this is the right size. This is the right size.
The first week for orientation, all the first-year graduate students gather. So I was standing there, and here comes this towering pine tree of a guy walking with this long trench coat and a fedora hat. And I thought, I don't think he's a science major. And he was all presence with this booming voice, and he introduced himself to me. He asked me how many pieces of Louis Vuitton luggage I owned, and I said none. And he said, darling, you will need them when you cross the ocean on the QE2. I go, right.
He was at Brown in Providence. I was across the street at Rhode Island School of Design. RISD and myself and my friends represented a freedom that he had never experienced in his life. So we sort of opened his eyes to what style could be, or what being yourself might feel like.
I wrote a column in the RISD paper, and I covered the scene. It was kind of a decadent group because they were very affluent, and I remember some of them didn't go to classes, and they would wake up having Bloody Marys. I guess that was just how they grew up. They said their parents recommended that. I never thought of waking up to drink a Bloody Mary at 11 in the morning before the first class. Fashion was our devotion. We were not into crystal meth or cocaine or heroin. Our passion was fashion.
We would use these kind of dress-up nights where we'd stay home and create kind of fashion moments. We would play in laundry bags or sheets of paper, all as an escape. We were invited nowhere. We'd get all dressed up. We had nowhere to go. This is how we spent every night. He was spreading his wings, and he could be anything here. He had a dream. Don't want to sound like Martin Luther King, but yeah, Andre had a dream.
I did not know who exactly I was becoming. But I did get out of the Jim Crow South. Brown gave me a freedom, a liberation, and propelled me into the world that I know.
Three, two, one, coming back.
Fashion, culture, fabulous. This is Full Length with Andre Leon Talley.
Welcome back to Full Length. I'm Andre Leon Talley, and I'm here today with my fabulous guest and dear friend, Norma Kamali. And I have known her since way back in the day. Well, I'd say back in the day since the great 70s. The last one when there was true style reigning in New York City. Welcome, Norma. Thank you for your great time, your valued time.
It's so great to be with you.
Thank you, Norma. Thank you. So let's go back to when actually New York defined style almost globally.
The 70s were the birth and the explosion of the fashion industry with designers as celebrities. And the creativity was like nothing you'd ever seen before. It was a very freeing time, and I don't think I wore a bra or underwear through the whole beginning part of the 70s.
Yves Saint Laurent, Halston were the kings of fashion. Halston in America, Saint Laurent in Paris. Halston was more of a minimalist, and Yves Saint Laurent was more of a romanticist. In 1974, Halston was already a big star. His lifestyle and his minimalistic look permeated everything about fashion. And that's what I dreamed of. I listened to people who were from New York, and they said, you should follow your dreams. And I did take the risk to come to New York in 1974. I went up to the Metropolitan Museum of Art. I wanted to be at the Costume Institute, and I had a letter of introduction to Deanna Vreeland to volunteer for Romantic and Glamorous Hollywood Design, the show. They gave me this Lana Turner costume of metal pieces that I had to put together with pliers. So I'd never seen anything like it. And I had to figure out which pieces attached to the bathing suit part of the piece, and then the whole skirt was a curtain of fringe of these metal discs. And I just had to assemble like a jigsaw puzzle. And I put it on the mannequin, and Mrs. Vreeland came by and saw it. I hid behind the column. She stopped and looked at it. She said nothing. But then 2 minutes later, they called me into the office and said, Mrs. Vreeland would like to see you. She sat on the side of her desk with a big yellow legal pad, and she wrote in very exaggerated scale, Andre with the accent, and then in a pencil, she put a dash, and she said, helper, H-E-L-P-R. And she wrote that, and then she put a pen down, and she said, now you will stay by my side for the rest of the show. I gravitated toward Mrs. Vreeland in a way that I cannot tell you. She was theatrical, dramatic. She looked like she was 7 feet tall because she stood up straight and she just kept stretching up, up, up. And she made very dramatic gestures.
Please don't stand there.
Andre would actually become Vreeland. Like he'd walk around saying, I want drama. I want navy and pink. Think pink, get cracking.
Great, great.
The little details she made very luxurious in her life. Luxury wasn't having like antique furniture or a painting by Picasso. Luxury was in the mind. The luxury of a great dress comes from within.
You know, my greatest joy in working here is to go through the closets and see the magnificence of the fabrics. You see, the décolleté, the way it is hung, the marvelous color, and the feathers against the skin, it's so beautiful.
Mrs. Vreeland stays with me every day. She taught me the language of clothes, the language of style.
Hello, ladies. Oh, look at those velvet Chanels. Ooh.
And everything is impeccably kept. These are not clothes found in a dustbin. These are true treasured pieces. Nothing shabby here. And this is Mrs. Vreeland's great caftan, one of 2, from Oscar de la Renta. This is typical Mrs. Vreeland, and I'm sure the embellishment was a big part of the whole charm and the fabulous, enthusiastic, exuberant color. It's very Russian, this. You might see this in a Russian Orthodox church. Mrs. Vreeland would have loved to have been entering from her bedroom in that with all the sparkle. Now, what is that? That red one?
Valentino.
Valentino. Is it Mrs. Vreeland's?
Yes.
What? Oh, my goodness. I think that's the great dress she might have worn in the horse picture, sprawled out on her big red sofa. That's a dress!
He was very close to Diana Vreeland. When Diana Vreeland, she was not feeling so well, He was so exceptional. He used to go to her apartment and to read some book, to read the magazine, the newspaper, to let her know what happened in the world because she couldn't go out anymore. This is something with the big Andre heart, because he had a big heart, and when he would love somebody, it was really for serious.
Mrs. Vreeland gave me unconditional love. And I always say my grandma and Mrs. Vreeland were very much alike.
She believed in cleanliness, and my grandmother believed in cleanliness. Polishing, ironing, washing. And they both gave joy to people.
As Mrs. Vreeland says, you want to give the world some sort of spark that is perhaps not there. The only Christmas I was ever away, first Christmas, was December 1974, when I had gone to the Met Ball, Romantic and Glamorous Hollywood Design. And Mrs. Vreeland said to me, you must stay. It'll happen for you in the new year. And I called my grandmother on Christmas Eve. And she says, you have to come home. It's Christmas, you have to come home. I said, no, because Mrs. Vreeland told me that it will happen, I will get a job in the new year. And I have to stay in New York. She says, you have to come home. You just have to. I says, why do you want me at home? I kept coaxing her to tell me why. And she said, because I know you're sleeping with a white woman. And I just said, I laughed. I started laughing, and I thought, if she only knew. I didn't go home. Mrs. Vreeland said it would happen, and she made it happen. And I went to work at Interview Magazine. I went to the factory, and I answered the phone. I was a receptionist, and I went to pick up Andy's lunch at Brownie's. I used to love to see the people walk into Interview. Mrs. Vreeland would come for lunch, and then people would come in and have their Polaroids taken for their portraits. Princess Carolyn of Monaco, Michael Jackson, Diana Ross. I was in the center of everything right there with Andy Warhol.
No one notified me, well, Andre's going to be there. I never heard of him. I didn't know. And I walked into the interview, and he was sitting behind the so-called reception desk. I was very startled because he was preceded by a string of debutantes who had this job. You know, half of them, you know, first they're, you know, what's her name? Lady so-and-so. So, and they were, many of them, quite fetching, but none of them answered the phone. Okay, so they were not really used to working in an even, like, hello, interview. So I thought, like, who is this guy? So someone tell me his name, and I didn't quite hear it, so I said to him, is your name Andre Lally? That's what I thought I heard. He said, no, Talley. Andre Leon Talley, as in Talleyrand. Then I burst out laughing. I thought he was joking, but he was dead serious.
I danced every night at Studio 54, every night. Dancing, dancing. I went there for the dancing, not for the decadence, the downstairs drug taking, and the upstairs sexual decadence that was going upstairs in the balcony, where I absolutely saw like Sodom and Gomorrah.
You can't imagine the orgy that New York was in the 70s. You know, the word promiscuous doesn't, like, begin to touch it. We thought sex was good for you, like orange juice. But Andre was like a nun.
I was not involved sexually in that scene with anyone. And as I call them, libertines, for want to be kind.
Don't forget, Andre came to New York from a very conservative Southern background.
How do you like nightlife?
I love
in New York?
Andre wasn't part of our neighborhood, so to speak. He was like an implant, or what do you call it, immigrant? No. Someone who comes from, you know, outside. We all were different, but he was, you know, he added to the difference.
My mother once said to me, you know that friend of yours, the African prince? So I said, what friend of mine, the African prince? You know you have a friend as an African prince? I said, I don't have a friend as an African prince. I absolutely have never had a friend as an African prince. Yes, we met him at that party. He was wearing a turban. Andre, To my mother, a black man dressed like that, he must be an African prince.
There was probably a little bit of the fantasy of me. Maybe I was like a black amour, a black page, like in the Russian court. But I had something to say, and I think the people who mattered realized that.
For all those, people who could look at him for who he was, he so happened to have been of color. He so happened to have been a big guy that was of color. But he had a knowledge that he could drop on you and then speak French fluently, being so tall and so lean, and you just wonder, who you, where you come from?
People's heads went just exploded because he was so many things he wasn't supposed to be, and they couldn't get around it. He just was.
Here he was, this African American from North Carolina, tall, beautiful guy. When he was working at Interview, he became part of the landscape of New York.
All of these photographs are people that shaped the whole personality of New York society then.
It's just amazing. It just lived it. I mean, I had those people on my walls, and then I was meeting the people. My first big interview was with Karl Lagerfeld in May of 1975. We all met at the Plaza Hotel for tea in the living room of Karl's suite. I think he was impressed that I asked the right questions. And then at the end of the interview, Karl said to me, "Come into my room. Could you see me in the bedroom, please?" And I thought, what is this? Okay. I went into the bedroom. In the bedroom were these beautiful trunks from Goya, and he was throwing things out of the trunks. Crepe de chine shirts and crepe de chine scarves, custom made at Hill Ditch and Key in Paris. He literally was throwing things. Take this, this is good on you. Take this is good on you. Take this. And I wore them. I wore them out. So he and I got on like fireworks from that first meeting.
Do you feel that you have some sort of superhuman energy that gets you through all of these collections?
Yes, in a way, sometimes I have that feeling, but even my doctor tells me that yes. I'm from another planet. I don't know.
So natural.
I thought myself very much down to earth, but seems to be different.
He's an innovator because he allows a spontaneity and a magic to come. Accidents happened and they became totally magic moments. Have you had a great moment of creativity or a great moment of excitement?
One should have a moment every day, if one can possibly, but it doesn't happen every day in New York now. Moments should come to you every day. You have to see the world through the kaleidoscope eyes of a child and just be in awe of everything. This is my absentee ballot. Look.
Blah, blah, blah. Politics, here we go.
Absentee ballot. Who's in there? You know who is in there.
Pride of his life right now. I'm excited that in 11 days, Andre will be free.
I will be free from that television.
Oh my gosh.
I watched the marathon last Saturday, Jaws 1, 2, and 3.
How do you watch 2 and 3? 1 was so great.
But after 2 and 3 were important to watch.
They were good?
It was important to watch to see how they
to see where it goes. Okay.
By Jaws 3, the shark is so big, they can swim inside the mouth of the jaw and plant a bomb. The man enters the mouth of the shark and plants the detonating bomb and swims out.
At your dinner fantasy party of designers, 4 guests at your party, dead or alive, designers, dinner fantasy party.
Well, they would all be dead.
Okay, well, that's fine. 4. Which 4?
Madame Gray, Chanel, Schiaparelli, and 2 men. I'd have to be 5. Balenciaga and Saint Laurent. When you see Madame Gray clothes, oh. Wolf trousers.
What?
Wolf. Wolf, 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 wolf.
I've never seen those. What?
Wolf. This is an education.
Wolf. The animal in the forest.
Oh my gosh. Whoa. Sick. That's so hot.
Break my wrist.
No,
Oh my God.
Did you ever meet Madame Gray?
Of course I did. That's why I was such a success in Paris, because I could speak the language. I could hold my own with them, you know. I didn't say bonjour. I said bonjour.
I said bonjour for 4 years.
Madame, quelle extraordinaire robe, extraordinaire.